The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click Support Us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille.
Benvenuti! Welcome to The Next Generation with me, your host, Giulia Stocchetti. Join me as I take you on a journey to discover young stars of the Italian food and wine world. Pronti? Andiamo! Hi everyone, and welcome back to The Next Generation on the Italian Wine Podcast. This is Giulia, your host, and today I'm super excited to have here with me Nicolò Zagaglia, who's based in Matelica, who produces an outstanding Verdicchio from the area. He basically graduated in enology in Ancona, and then he traveled to New Zealand for the harvest, where he was actually offered some career opportunities, but he refused to stay 24 hours away from home. And he decided to go back to his homeland to start something new and something on his own. That's how Gajole was born, established by Nicolò when he was only 25 years old. That said, I don't want to spoil you anything else because I'm excited to have here Nicolò telling us everything about Gajole, about himself, and about his wines. Ciao, Nicolò.
Hi everyone. My name is Nicolò Zagaglia and I am from the Marche region. I am the owner of Gajole company, where I produce Verdicchio of Matelica, and I am also a wine consultant specialized in business advisory and wine marketing.
Nice. So basically that's who you are and what you do in your life, right?
In my life, I produce Verdicchio of Matelica.
Nicolò, how old are you?
I am 28.
How come you became a winemaker? I mean, what's your story?
I inherited my passion for wine from my father. He is a simply wine lover. I started out studying viticulture and enology at Ancona University. Once I finished, I started working. First, I tried to find work in Stellenbosch, South Africa, but without Sussex. Then I started to work in Castelli di Jesi, Verdicchio area. Then I tired of being in Italy and I went to do a vintage in New Zealand, in Delegat, Oyster Bay, near Renwick. At this point, a problem arose because the work comparison between Italy and New Zealand was merciless. The kind of contract, the kind of work is more specialized in New Zealand, in everything.
So it was easier to build your own career there in New Zealand, correct?
Yes, of course. It's more easy, but sometimes I took the guys that go in New Zealand or in California or out of Italy probably did it for easy career. In a first moment, I thought that was like escape from the problem. But in a second time, I think it's not so bad because, of course, the life can't be so hard and should not be so hard. So maybe it's a good choice, as every choice is very personal.
So you enjoyed the time you spent in New Zealand. You learned lots of stuff. How was that?
Yes, I learned a lot of stuff, but a different kind of winemaking. Okay, the companies are more big than Italy. In Italy, the average company is a small, medium company. Ownership is family ownership. In New Zealand, not. In New Zealand are a big company. For example, Delegat Oyster Bay, where I worked, produced 20 million barrels per year. I don't know if they are the biggest producer in Marlborough, but I saw a lot of wineries very, very big with a huge vat of certification. So it's very different country for the winemaking, and the taste is very different. Maybe in the whole world, like France, Spain, Italy, is very different also the taste. Maybe in here we are looking more for the elegancy, nice balance. Instead, in the new world, maybe in UK, USA, or Australia, there are more international style, more softness. So very different between New Zealand and Italy, but also for the vinification.
So you were a winemaker in New Zealand. You worked as a winemaker. Was your main position?
Not exactly. I worked as a cellar hand.
Okay, nice. But anyway, you were making wine, basically helping out making wines, right?
Yeah, I was in the white team during day shift.
After your experience, why have you decided to found a winery?
After the New Zealand, I was in a crossroad. Either have a good job on the other side of the world or return, but not as an employee, but to develop my own project. This was because I could no longer stand the life of an employee in Italy with terrible contract and wages that only allow you to float. You can build a normal life.
Yeah, but basically, this is almost like in every sector, right? I mean, it's the job condition in Italy, unfortunately.
Yeah, for a while I carried on the Gajole project, also working for other wineries in the meantime. And in the meantime, also I was studying for a specialist degrees in Udine, which I left because I considered it useless for my path. I only had 3 exams left.
So you quit with only 3 exams left.
Yes, I think that the certificate is not everything. Many companies, many people see the certificate, the graduate, but I started the last 2 years the university just for develop my knowledge. Now I am an entrepreneur, so for me now the certificates are pretty useless.
So you want to make experience, basically. Instead of learning by studying, you want to learn by experience and doing things.
Yes, experience, but also the network with other people that I know in Udine and also in Verona, because my last degrees was divided in 2 different universities. But basically, I started the last 2 years for the knowledge, just the knowledge. Today, I produce Verdicchio di Matelica with my own company, and this is okay for me. For this reason, I don't need another degree.
Yeah, you're improving by doing things.
Yes, but also because to arrive in Udine, I need 8, 10 hours from Macerata.
Yeah, it's quite far away.
Was consuming a lot of time.
So your winery, I see that is quite unique because basically is you taking care of every single stage of the process from the grapes to the final bottle. So I was wondering, how does it work? How is your routine?
Yes, it is a unique model that allowed me to start without the need for a large amount of capital. I am a guest in a winery that allow me to make wines as I want. And I also collaborate with a logistic company that has an underground warehouse where I store my wine and they ship it to me when I want. So generally, I manage the timing very well. I don't have a daily routine, exactly daily routine. The wire is the one thing that dictates the time most. But generally, I work every time without the hurry up because I manage very well the jobs to do. So every time I have a lot of time to complete the task.
Nice. It's really important to have time to do things properly in the right way. So you only work at your winery now, or you're also still a consultant?
I do also the consulting to other wineries that mainly are winemaking consulting. But in this year, I specialize also in wine marketing and in business advisory. So balance sheet, revenues, cash flow, all that things that I studied first of all for me. And now I can consult for the other winery.
I think it would have been much easier for you just to complete university instead of embarking on all these new studies you're making. And that's fantastic because you're literally doing your job in the world of wine in a 360 degree. I mean, you do everything. So you left university, but you're still learning a lot, I see. So that's beautiful.
Every day I study 1 hour or more. Of course, there are some days that I can't, because I think it's very important to have collateral knowledge. With a collateral knowledge, you have more chance to develop project. You have a better vision about all the project.
Yeah, definitely. That's right. And I was wondering if between all these things you're doing, you have like some interesting projects going on right now, like maybe based on Verdicchio di Matelica.
Yeah, I have many projects. This year, I did a new plant of vineyard where I planted my own clones of radicchio because I really think that the knowledge of the primary material, the grapes, are the base for a great product. So the first of all, I have the totally knowledge about the grapes. For this vintage, the next vintage, I would like, and I will do a new production of Vino Cotto. Is a sweet dessert wine produced from the must that I cook. And with the cook is like a flotation, so the dirty part of the grapes go up, okay, and let remove. This nice process because with the high temperature must be every time less than 100 degrees, so 90 degrees
And for how long do you cook the must?
one day. It's very slow process.
And then the fermentation starts, or how does it work?
Start when the mast lost temperature and when arrive to 30 degrees start to fermentate. It's a funny process because with the temperature I degrade all the oxidable enzyme. So this dessert wine is like a porto. It's not oxidable no more. Okay, so have a very long shelf life. It's possible taste Vino Cotto from 60s years. There are no one oxidation is perfect. We'll do a little production.
Yeah, just to try. But are you using like stainless steel tanks? Are you using oak? What kind of vessels are you going to use to make this wine?
The cook is making a stainless tank with the fire under the vat, and the fermentation and the aging is doing to the barrel.
Oh, wow. And it's like a small barrel or a big barrel, old, new.
Generally, the cook give a strong flavor to the Vino Cotto, so you can use high toasted barrel and small barrel, also very little barrel, 50 liters.
Caratelli.
Yeah, caratelli. It's possible to do it with caratelli because the flavor is very strong. So a light toasted barrel is difficult to feel it during the tasting.
And how long does the wine stay in these small barrels, more or less?
Basically, when you want, but after 10 years, can take the denomination Stervecchio. So the translation is ultra old wine.
So you're going to leave your experiment in Caratelli for like 10 years? Do you have all this patience?
I don't use Caratelli, but I will use Barrique. I will produce one Barrique per year. So this is the major project that I have the focus right now because this vintage I will do it.
Still with Verdicchio grapes, right?
Yes, but not only Verdicchio because you can do the Vino Cotto also mix the white and the red grapes. There are no skin contact in Vino Cotto. So when you use the red skin grape, you can have the color a little bit red that give a very nice orange flavor. Fantastic when you taste it. More complexity. You can use also only white or only red grape.
It sounds delicious. I'm so curious to try some because I've never had Vino Cotto, really. I think I've never had it before, so it's something pretty new.
Yes, it's produced in Abruzzo and South Piceno areas between Marche and Abruzzo region. But every region say this is my typical product, not your. There are conflicts between the Marche and Abruzzo.
It sounds so Italian, this situation. Like for the Tramezzino, where does it come from? Turin, Venice, who knows? Everyone is claiming to be the homeland of Tramezzino, like of Vino Cotto, but you never know.
Yes, it's very Italian.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local food, and taking in the scenery. Now back to the show.
What would you pair with Vino Cotto? You will have it just by itself, like after dinner, or with some, I don't know, desserts?
For me, the best comparison with Vino Cotto is the tiramisu. But I think could be also drink after the dinner in front of a fire, just for meditation.
So when will your wine be ready, will be for sale, your Vino Cotto? How many years do we have to wait?
I produce Vino Cotto just for fun, for my passion. I love so much Vino Cotto, so the first motivation is for me, for myself. For this reason, I will put on the market this wine when I will just satisfy of the fining and the aging. So now for me it's impossible to say a year. Maybe I will do directly the Stravecchio kind of Vino Cotto, or maybe after 3 years. I don't know. Depend how will age the wine.
So you better stay tuned on Gajole to know when the Vino Cotto will be ready if you're curious to have some. And I think that will be definitely worth it.
Now, I told you a fun fact. In the last Decanter Wine Award, the first wine of Le Marche region for the score is a Vino Cotto.
Oh, wow.
97 points.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is pretty funny. But actually, in Italy, you can't consider the Vino Cotto as a wine for the rules.
Yeah, it's like a special category, right?
This kind of dessert wine is more typically more funny, can be oxidate. So I think deserve more attention.
Well, but that's cool you're doing that. I'm sure your Vino Cotto will taste delicious, so I want to make sure to try some. And that said, you're making Vino Cotto, but in total, how many wines do you make?
Actually, for now, I produce only one wine, M, Verdicchio di Matelica DOC.
Why the name M?
Every time people say me this, every time I don't have the answer because I projected this name for this reason. Everyone gives a own sign to this label. And this is the better part of this label. No one gives the same sign to the label. Maybe someone M for Matelica officially haven't got a sign. For me, I have a sign, but like for you, probably you can give a different sign to the label.
So free interpretation. M can stand for whatever comes up to your mind while you're tasting this wine, enjoying this wine. That's cool. I like the idea. The freedom to decide what M stands for you.
Yes. For this label, you just don't try to understand, just feel it.
Beautiful. And how many bottles do you produce a year of this wine?
I currently produce 13,000 bottles, and I would like to get to 40,000 in 3 or 4 years.
Oh, wow. It's such a nice production. Should be delicious too.
Yes, that's very small.
And how do you produce the wine? Like in stainless steel, in oak, concrete?
M is produced from a selection to the vineyard. In the cellar, a soft pressing, and I do a hyperoxidation of the must. That is done in order to reduce the oxidable charge of the finished wine. Then I do a spontaneous fermentation. It's done in cement, and it ages in the still for 7 months with about 10, 12, 15% of oak. The oak is a very different kind of oak because are from Austria, from Slavonian and Hungary and French oak. After I do the blending and it concludes with 2 months into the bottle. A very simple objective to produce elegant, fine and very long shelf life wine. For this reason, I put everything to give a longer shelf life with the hyperoxidation, with the cellar and operation very careful. Also the cap of the bottle, because I would like to think that I sell the time and not simply wine.
Oh, nice. And Verdicchio di Matelica actually is a wine that, if made in the proper way, can age for a long time, even if it's a white wine, and can bring such unique emotions and a really interesting complexity.
Yeah, Also because in Matelica we have a different climate to the rest of the Marche region, because the Matelica is a valley completely closed to the sea and is the only one valley with north-south direction. And for this reason, there are always 2-3 degrees less the other part of the Le Marche region. And for this reason, we have more acidity, and with more acidity, more shelf life to the wine generally. And also Matelica, after some years from the vintage, start to do a nice evolution and start to have nice balsamic flavor and take a great elegance. So it's perfect for the launch.
How long do you think it can age?
I think it is impossible to produce a wine with more attention to the shelf life than my wine. In a perfect storage, in a nice cellar with humidity control and temperature control, not less than 20 years.
Oh, wow, it's a long time.
Yeah. Also with analysis, the catechins are almost zero. The cap is after the first year closed very, very, very well. Pass only zero point 0.1 milligrams of oxygen per liter per month. So it's like zero. I put everything to give a long shelf life to my wine.
Nice. So your aim is to give a long shelf life to your wines. And well, but sometimes, it's hard when you get good wines and they recommend you to wait a bit to enjoy it at its best. And you have the bottle there and you're like, oh my God, I really feel like opening it. And then on the other hand, you're like, no, I should wait because it's going to develop even more complex aromas and flavors. But I have to say I can't resist a good wine. So I don't know if I would be able to leave a wine there for 20 years. Maybe I should buy a couple bottles more and forget them somewhere in the cellar, like hidden from others. Otherwise, it's tough. But yeah, that's interesting.
It's like gambling. Generally, that kind of wine had no problem, but that exactly bottle could have a problem. There are also the lucky factor. So every time is like a gambling game.
Yeah, every bottle is unique and is a universe itself. So yeah, you never know.
Yeah, so you cannot know if it's the right time until you open it.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you pair with your with your Verdicchio?
Could be a good pair to grilled anglerfish with potato fondue, maybe, and truffle, baked fish.
Oh, so with fish dishes.
With more gear and more complexity, also with white meat.
Nice. So white meat and fish are both a good option for your wine. Fish when it's a bit younger, white meat when it's a bit aged.
Many people that work into the restaurant say me, your wine is gastronomic.
Yeah, pairs well with a lot of different kind of food, let's say.
Yes, a lot of people from the restoration say me this.
That's beautiful. Versatility is very important nowadays for the wine. It means that it's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And where do you sell your wine most?
Only in Italy, actually. I would like also do a export, but actually the Italian market finish me every year, all the bottles. So maybe the next year I could do a little bit of export.
And where would you like to go? Where would you like to see your wines abroad in the future?
I don't have a favorite country. I hope just only that my bottle will go on a table where the people can enjoy and appreciate all the effort that I put into the wine.
I was wondering, like, doing all this stuff, having all these amazing projects going on, how do you see yourself in the future? Like, what's your aspiration?
It's difficult to say. Generally, I do project 3 years. More longer the project and more difficult is to predict it. I would like to have my own winery where I can really do all I want. I would like to have 20 hectares. Now I have just only two, a little bit less than two. And I would like sell my wine all around the world. And I would finish my project. I would like to do only Verdicchio di Matelica. So I would arrive, first of all, to produce my reserve. And after, I would like to produce another reserve with 10 years fining between bottle and vet. I really think that Matelica have the possibility to arrive to that kind of finding. So I would like to do a reserva with 10 years finding.
That's beautiful to hear that you're really in love with your homeland, with Matelica and with its own grape variety, indigenous grape variety that is Verdicchio. That's amazing, really, because you want to give value to the place where you come from, and that's beautiful. So we are on the next generation, right? So I was wondering, talking about young consumers, how are you addressing new potential wine lovers?
Generally, I select all of them. Unfortunately, I think we live in a very superficial historical period. Sometimes at the fair, I find people who are there just to drink and have an aperitif without the slight test curiosity about what they are drinking. So I think it is a lack of respect for the meticulous work that is behind it. When a person is interested, even if they are new in the sector, I explain and always try to make them understand the work that is behind it. I refuse to fool those who just want to get drunk. Unfortunately, I don't see many new people interested. And I think that why consumers can be divided by level of awareness of the product. And I think each producer has its own target and has the duty, but not the obligation, to educate it. Those who produce, for example, icon wine cannot educate the novice. I hope it doesn't seem classist, but behind a certain wine, there is such meticulous work that require a great experience. So I think everyone has their target to educate.
Yeah, you're right, basically, because if you educate your consumer, they will give value to what you do, the right value, and they will understand the effort you put, and that a bottle of wine is not just pressed grape juice, but it's experience, it's a winemaker's life behind it. So what should we do for these young people?
I let taste my wine if I see they are very interested. For me, it's not important that you are a new consumer or old consumer. If you are interested, I let you taste my wine. I would like also explain the work behind it without zero problem.
Well, I think we've covered almost like everything I was curious about. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up the episode?
I can say a lot of things more, but just for close it, maybe keep calm and enjoy Matelica.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, there's a quote from yours that I really, really liked because I was like sticking on the Instagram, looking for Gajole, looking for you. I found this quote of yours that I really love to share with our listener. That's what Nicolò said. There is no worse conflict than that between a sensitive heart and a rational brain. This is my essence from which today Gajole begins. Guys, that's a wrap, and that's Nicolò Zagaglia. Thank you so much, Nicolò.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Ciao!
Ciao.
Grazie for being with me today and listening to the next generation on the Italian Wine Podcast. Alla prossima. Cin cin!